What's up, guys? It's time for window install. Let's go. So with all these openings, we're gonna go ahead and just router them out. It's the fastest, cleanest, easiest way in my opinion. And over the years, I've used a ton of different router bits. This is one that needs to be replaced. I've had it for a little bit, and you'll see these bearings. So this bearing right here rides around the inside, and that one is actually toast. So maybe this isn't the greatest video to show off this bit, but it works really well. None of them last very long. And this is a down cut spiral bit. So what it does is, it does a very good job of pulling all the material to the inside instead of blowing it all back in my face. So you can see I just cut one out and I don't really have that much sawdust on me. Routering is awesome. Check out this hole. You can kind of see how good of a job it does. It cuts a perfect hole opening, but the reason we like this is because we are going to tape our openings, and by having a nice clean opening exactly where our framing is, it allows the tape to make a good adhesion right where we need it. So check it out. We'll go ahead and do this one real quick. So there you go, guys. That was real time, no fake speed, and I just don't think there's any way to get as clean of a cutout as there is using a router. We don't have to mark nothing. We don't have to get a saw out and try to line it up. So definitely invest yourselves in a router if you're doing this sort of work. This is the Milwaukee half-inch, new half-inch horsepower. I don't know, model 3820. And we're really liking it because it's got plenty of power, which is what you want here. So we got a lot of these to do. We're gonna go around, get all of these routed out, and then we will get into the prep work for the install because we have to prep these openings for the window install. Yeah, that dirt was way too soft. That got put in there. It never got compacted. It just got filled in and drove over. I was hoping it would freeze. Yeah. I'm gonna have to refix that. Yeah. All right, I thought I could do it. Look at this. There's 0 bearing left. That one was messed from the beginning. Let's go ahead and change it real quick. I brought one up. Got these as a 5-pack on Amazon. I'll put the link down below for those that are gonna ask for it because everybody always does every time you do this. I wouldn't say they're the best. The white side router bits that I was using and I've put links to in the past are better, I think, for longevity, but you can't beat the price on these. They work really well, so I think it might also be me pushing it really hard because I'm impatient. Probably should go a little bit slower. Who's got time for that? I wonder if there's anything you can do to make those last longer. I don't know. What do you guys do? Can you lubricate that bearing? Can you put something on it, like a grease of sorts that will help it? I don't know, but they all burn up pretty quickly. Or maybe I just need to run it at a lower RPM. So this is the first look at the inside. Oh yeah, dude. Oh dang.
That's actually sick.
Look at that grill though, dude. That's gonna be a sick look. That's gonna be a sick look.
That's gonna be really cool, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so we have jam extensions to install. So we've got to do these jam extension installations ourselves before we put them in. I mean, I don't know how they want us to do them. We will look at the instructions.
Doesn't have any pictures. I can't read it.
Well, look, there might be pictures in here that you can look at, and I'll read the words. Okay, so what do you see, picture boy? There's your options for fastening. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, no big deal. Well, this is easy. Okay, I might need to get different fasteners though. I don't know if I have this stuff on me.
Pasload maybe?
Well, I mean, we could glue them so that they're nice and strong. Let's see, 1.25" 1.5 nails. We do have that. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Let's see. So, should we get our white gloves? This customer is finicky, man.
I don't have white gloves.
We'll have to get some. Full one-piece vinyl jam with a nail fin. That's what I wanted, so that there's no joints around the perimeter, so easy sealing. You know what the other thing is? I just realized. So like for this, let's say this is 73 5/8 opening. So the rough opening on these is a 1/2 inch around the outside. Okay, 72 3/8. Oh yeah, 75 3/8 was what we cut. So 72 3/8, but notice that the jam extension is smaller than the rough opening. So this is 71 3/8, so it's a full 1/2 inch, but when you're in here, this is 7/16 smaller. So there'll be even more room on the inside around the jam. Yeah. All right, we'll let that set up. Ooh, that style is a little bit shy. Got pretty good, I don't need to mark it. Okay, you take one, I got one. You start walking my way. Wait, is that how it goes or no? Look at the way it sticks and literally is like suctioned right around every little nook and cranny. Okay guys, we've got our first full window installed, and I think I wanted to do that just because, you know, I like to just kind of go through it, make sure everything is how I want it, learn a little bit, maybe problem solve just a little bit, and now we're ready to kind of go to town on getting the rest of these windows installed. So for the rest of these windows, we'll kind of step by step through the process of putting all these windows in, show you how we're doing this install. Now, by all means, this is not the perfect end-all install how-to. This is how we've learned to do it our best. So if you guys have a better way to do this, by all means, drop a comment. I like learning. I think if you were to go back probably a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 or 5 years, every year, we're trying to do something different. So what I'm saying is I don't ever expect us to ever be doing it perfectly. I expect us to always be doing it better than the last time. And so the first thing that we're gonna do on this job that is, I think, a little bit better than the last time is we're gonna be doing a better job of taping these jams. And what we have is a product that Greg and I learned about when we went to Switzerland, visited Siga, and it's these pre-made corners that they came out with. Now, there's a lot of different products that you can use for corners. These are Siga's pre-made corners. Stretch tape is a thing. It's pretty expensive as well, and it works pretty decent. What I've seen on stretch tape, the stuff I've used, and I've used different manufacturers, I'm not just talking about one manufacturer, is when you're stretching it, it can be a little bit, you know, clumpy, and then also it can sometimes, we've seen it like retract on itself. And I don't know over the course of its life if that will continually want to squeeze in and lose some of its tightness. So I do like these Siga corners. The nice thing about them is they've been manufactured. I can tell you right now, I'm gonna peel this off and I'm gonna show you guys something, because I've done some posts back when we got these and people had comments about them. So right here, this little corner, they're like, oh, that's gonna be the leak point. So what Siga did was they put this gusset, this is a welded gusset, into this corner. It goes all the way around. It's like a big circle. And that's gonna prevent any water from coming in here. So all we're gonna do is we're just gonna set these in the corner of our window opening. Okay, and I'm just lining up my tape. We're gonna take our handy dandy little squeegee. Okay, so there you go. That's the first step. We've got a 90-degree up and down on the insides of the corner. Then we're gonna take this off. And then it just folds right around that corner, giving you a nice weather-tight seal at what I would probably argue is the most crucial spot, or the spot that you see the most leak damage when you do a remodel, is off of this corner, because that's where it's hard to condition and make weather tight. So this is the first step. We're going to use these corners on all of our windows. And some might say, well, Kyle, aren't you going to put the window in? Aren't you going to tape that? Aren't you going to seal that, put siding on? How is water getting here? This is all for the condensation, any leaks in the window, failures over time in a window. You're never going to see it till it's too late. So this is going to protect our jamb and make sure that the water is going to come out over here. That's the first step. How's it going over there, big guy? Do you not want me to look over there or what?
No, it's great. It's
Oh,
great.
okay, I was gonna say, it looks
No,
pretty
it's
good.
actually great. Like, I'm not being
Oh, I thought you were.
No.
I thought you were trying to hide something over there.
Nope.
Okay. All right. So now we're gonna take some more Sega, same product. And Greg, let's go ahead and just make two pieces, one for top, one for bottom. Now the nice thing about this is it's got a double backing, so you can split back. I don't know what they call it.
Split backing?
Is that what they call it?
I think so.
I don't know. Personally, with this, we can just take this all the way off. I'm just gonna line this up with my corner. Greg's nice and tight.
Yep.
Yeah?
I think so.
Work that out. Okay. The one thing I found with this, because it's a pretty thick tape, is you almost have to like break this angle here and just get it to 90 if you want it nice and clean. And then you just kind of, we call it the scissor action, because we're kind of like scissoring it down using the squeegee. If you do it by hand, it just does not turn out as good, in my professional opinion. Take it for what it is. And then we're just going to squeegee that from the angle out. Look at that though. Look how it even, I mean, that stuff sticks and sucks right into all those little divots. Look at that. Okay, so that's the bottom. Now we'll do our sides. Same thing. Notice that we're not doing the upper corner yet. We're going to apply the shingle effect, and we're gonna kind of start at the bottom, work our way to the top, and keep overlapping. What I found to be the best way to do this is if you kind of keep holding out, keeping it taut, and then doing the scissor, you can work out any of those bubbles. I just really get annoyed when I see bubbles or fish mouthing on any of the tape. So that's what I've found to be the best way to make it lay nice and flat. I go based off of whatever I've found to be successful. It's not about what's easy, but I hope it to be easy, you know? You've done a lot better.
No.
Dude, look at how loose that is.
Where?
All this.
What do you mean?
This is all loose here. See that? This is all loose here.
You're
Thing
over
of
here complaining about mine, and I look over at yours, and it's,
But it's nice and tight though.
it is
But it's
dog
tight.
water.
But it's tight. There we go. That is I guess that's like our window jamb prep. Actually, we got one more thing, Greg. Yeah. These are 1/2-inch pieces of Weather Logic. And we're going to install these as our shims, because we know we have a 1/2-inch around the perimeter. When we set this window in, we will set them on here, but we've only got a thin little jamb because we want to still be able to get insulation. Like, I don't like it when we used to take a shim and we'd stick shims like this, and then you'd cut them off on the backside of, you know, your window frame, and then put your trims on, whatever. If I put it here, I feel like, in my opinion, I can still insulate around this, and I'm still going to also gain the benefit of properly spacing my window up off my sill. But we're also going to check these for level to make sure that they are good before we just nail them and then set the window in.
I think it looks good.
Okay. Go ahead. So I'm just gonna tack this in with some staples. And going through 2 layers of this tape. I don't think those staples are hurting my water intrusion efforts either, do you?
Self-healing.
Self-healing, okay, cool. This opening is now ready for a window. Now don't send it. I'm gonna make sure I'm right by my mark I made. Yep, go ahead. This is a good little tip that we learned. If you guys are gonna use Fentrim, or really any of the Sega products, Rasan, when you're taking the backing off, what I used to do was I would come back here and I would try to pick the backing. But if you just take your finger and pull the material off, it will actually come way easier than the backing does. So just a little tip. I know it seems counterintuitive and dumb, but it does save yourself a lot of time instead of trying to pick the backing off of the tape. Now, do it now. Do it now. Right here. This nice, perfect cut.
What I like to do is like on the start, I just go like that.
Roll it here.
That's so much easier, dude. Look
The first one it is. I agree 100%.
Yeah, the first one is always
100%.
easier.
Yeah.
I know what you mean. I know what you mean.
Yeah, I don't know why you gotta ruin it, man. I don't know why you gotta ruin it. I'm just trying to help our friends at home do a better job with their fence room install, make it less stressful, and you're out here just being like, oh, well, Greg, the problem is you're a pro, dude. I'm good. That makes me feel good, dude.
We're gonna party like it's your birthday. We're gonna sip a Bacardi like it's my fault for not being there for you.
Okay. The biggest thing is the corner. You just got to pull it back. Make sure. What? Are you serious?
Go up a hair.
No, dude, it's great. Like, move that level. I feel so much more comfortable having a grabber in my hand.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say it with me by your side.
Wait, you go first, because the way it's kind of set up. Yeah, I'm very comfortable with you by my side. Not like too close, though. I don't want you too close to my side.
Watch top.
And that plank is dead to me now.
Well, yeah, you ran it over.
I'm just trying to level out this mess. Keep hoping it's gonna freeze on me when it's level, so I'm good, but it's soft. Never got really compacted good enough because it was too wet out here when we did the dirt work, but we're just gonna have to wait. I don't wanna keep mucking it up. As long as I can get my scissor lift in here, get these last 2 windows done, I think I'll be fine. There's all of our Uponor radiant heating components. Very excited because every day we're getting a little bit colder, and I would love nothing more than to get some temporary heat going in this building. I don't know if that's gonna happen, but definitely, guys, I will be sharing the process of doing all this. Hopefully my buddy Eric, Mechanical Hub from Minnesota, is gonna come down. He's a specialist in this stuff, and he's gonna help me do this. The second story mezzanine is gonna be radiant heated as well with their proprietary system, which I will share all that information with you. So if you're interested, definitely stay tuned. I gotta get this guy unloaded.
I need to get new gloves.
Dude, I feel like I've given you how many pairs of gloves already this winter?
1.
No, that's not true. 2.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't care. I'm just saying, like, what are you doing with them? Are you eating them or something? Well, you did it, man. You're the man, you know? Remember, Greg, when we were doing walls? First day of setting walls and those kids were, like, murdering each other over there or something?
Yeah. Good times.
Yeah.
Wonder how they're doing now.
I hope they're still alive.
I hope so.
Can you, like, go like this? I feel like that's way easier.
That's kind of twisting on my wrist.
No, okay, then just like this. The reason I wanted these windows specifically, it's a one-piece jamb that goes all the way around to my nail fin. The benefit to that, what I was just saying to Greg, is when you have the like detached nail fins, the nail fins that basically slide in a channel. We've done many windows like that before. It's fine, they do work, but one, it's a lot harder to get a window installed in the same plane all the way around. So a lot of times you can push and pull that flange, and sometimes when you nail it, it doesn't necessarily push the window frame where it's at. So when you go in and do your interior trims, it's not always flush with your wall, or your jam extensions have to be cut different sizes. So I like that for this because it does make my job later easier. But more importantly, from an air sealing, weather sealing application side, I can come in here when this is all done. I've got my Lexel on the back side of this fin. I can tape now this fin and it's good to go. I don't have any cracks or joints here that are going to be potential leak points, both water and air. So that's why I really like this. I think it's one of the big benefits of having a full vinyl exterior like this. It's gonna be good. It doesn't have the expansion contraction that an aluminum does. It's definitely probably a better seal than aluminum because aluminum, you rely on some sealants. This is just a molded one-piece vinyl exterior. So Andersen 400s, they got great options, and with all these black windows now and the ability to do the black vinyl, I think it's awesome. It used to be you had to go to an aluminum window if you wanted black, but these things look killer. But I don't know, I'm curious, you guys out there watching the video, like, what do you see as a benefit of going aluminum over vinyl? Because for me, I think the benefits of vinyl with this nice one-piece nail fin, the durability of it, I think it's the way to go. I think it looks good. So because this is that one-piece nail fin, we don't have to worry about taping onto the window frame. If you have a removable nail fin like on an aluminum window, you have to tape back onto the window, and that is a lot more tricky. So that's another benefit, you know, time is money, and this makes our job much easier. Your window, my window, we're gonna do a challenge, not just on speed, but we'll let YouTube decide on the quality of the window also.
Okay.
So I'll take this guy. We'll have to share the fence room, but I don't think we'll be doing it.
That'll be after the window.
After the window's installed. So we're just gonna do this tape thing. So
we only got one plank though, so.
I don't need a plank, I ain't short.
I am.
Actually, it'll probably help you if you use the plank and make you a little faster. So,
Yeah, whatever.
you know.
You just want to give me all the handicaps.
All right, sounds good. Just remember, Greg, at the end of the day, it's not about the speed. If you win, I'm gonna edit this so it looks like I win. I gotta say, so far, my first two corners laid really nice, man.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, mine too.
I might need another roll of this tape, though.
Already light years ahead of me, you know?
For me, it's just, I like to keep things fun and engaging.
Fun and engaging.
I think this will be a little challenging because we haven't had to do all this tape ourselves. You're always there to help me do, you know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Now I have to do it all myself.
Yeah.
See, the one thing you know, Greg, is that I will not sacrifice time for quality. This customer would not be happy if I did that, so that's one thing you got going for you. You know that I will not sacrifice quality just to beat you.
At least you don't have the risk of being fired if you don't do a good job.
But that's possible.
Your customer's not going to fire you. He likes you too much.
I think the customer likes you as well.
If I would have known that we were going to race like this, I wouldn't have cut my fingernails this weekend. Then I really would have had the advantage.
You would have definitely had an advantage over me then. I'm starting to hear some excuses falling in. I just lost my plastic, Greg.
Sounds like excuses over there.
Did you know this was all recyclable plastic, Greg? I mean, really, I just wanted you to be motivated to just get it done while it was about lunchtime, you know? But, you know, I still want to know which one looks better. Now, Greg, now that you finally finished, and I've got everything cleaned up for you even, except for this one piece, now you go grade mine and I'll look at yours, okay? You tell me what you see, I'll let you know what I see.
Top looks like dog water.
Wait, because of the ink?
Yeah.
Well, that's not.
Looks awful.
I got
Press
some
all-
ink in my square, or my shim, so look at that.
Never pressed all your edges like I did. I ran my finger along there and got all that sealed off.
Okay, fair.
The corner's not that tight. There's a little something there.
That's the sheathing.
Corners look decent.
Dude, I didn't have one.
That's not tight there.
What are you talking about?
There.
Dude, you didn't do
Water
anything.
leaks will leak right through
Okay,
it.
all right.
Other than that, it looks pretty decent. I would give it a 7.6.
Okay, so first thing I noticed right away that just blows my mind is that this side is up less than 4 inches, and this side's like 14 inches. So that's pretty out of level, you know? Next thing I noticed is this. Next thing I noticed is this and this. What about that, buddy?
No,
Does that not bother you?
Shingling, like water won't go up in there.
Okay. So we'll just do this. These
Probably
corners look pretty decent, though. Nice job on your corners.
Yeah,
I'm going to give credit where credit's due.
decent.
I mean, this is, my friends, what we call fish mouth, okay? So if you look right here, this is what Greg told me he was going to do just so that we could show you guys what not to do. And that is how air and water gets in behind your tape. So very important to make sure that you squeegee your tape out.
When I went over to grade yours,
tighter.
I think you came over here and sabotaged me.
But all in all, man, I would let you tape my windows any day, man.
Yeah, that's all that matters.
You did a good enough job that I would let you tape my windows. Nice job.
How much would you pay me an hour?
Less than I'm paying you. This is what I'm getting. I give you a 6.4. If I got a 7.6.
6.4. Mine's way better.
We don't have to be better than one another.
But I'm better.
Even though YouTube, you guys let me know down below in the comments clearly, you know, which one looked better. This is our first non-fixed window that we've been able to install, Greg, or get to install. See, got some nice awning windows here, or casement, I guess I should say, because awnings go like that. Let's read the instructions because I got one here too. So we need to look at this number, 914-5074. 914-5074. 914-5074. 914-5074. Okay, so these are our sides. Now we need to find 5074 long, okay. These I want to cut first. All right, guys, so with these Andersen 400 series windows, I'm obviously a little bit unique in that our wall cavity is 8.5 inches thick. I didn't have to get a jam extension because no matter what, I still need to add jam extension material to this window after it's installed and I do my finishes long down the road. But what I opted for was at least minimally having Andersen do a 6 9/16 jam extension, and these are going to be factory applied. I chose that because a lot of times in the past, due to nobody's fault, the jam extension can get damaged very easily. So I chose to field apply them. It's not very hard. All we have to really do is I'm just double checking, making sure the lengths and widths are correct. And I've also got a little mullion, I do believe you would call it, a piece that's joining these two casements together that I'll have to notch out for. I like this because I have a little bit more control over the quality of the jam extension. This will reduce the amount of jam extension material I have to do later on. Is that good? Is it bad? Would it be better to have no jam extension and me to do all of it in one piece? I don't know. I think I can probably do something to make it look good and matched. It's not like two different pieces of wood that are stained a color, like a walnut or a cherry look or something. I think the black should be a pretty easy thing to match. So let's go ahead and get these cut down to size. We'll get them installed and then you'll see how this all kind of goes together. Oh, and if you're wondering, this is a 6 9/16 jam extension. It doesn't measure 6 9/16. It is for a 2x6 stud wall that is typically, when it's sheathed and drywalled on the inside, it measures out to 6.5, and you always go just a hair bigger so that when you put your casing on the inside, everything looks nice and seamless. So we've got an 8.5 inch wall cavity, so it's not going to work, but that's where the 6 9/16, and if you're doing a 2x4 wall, then you would have a 4 9/16 jam extension, or in most cases, some of the windows are actually already just one unit at that depth as well. So I'm not sure exactly if the factory doesn't send out exact fits so that we can do it in the field. We did realize that some of our numbers we're using for different windows, but they all have the same dimension, so I'm not really sure, but we're cutting them down specifically to be the exact dimension because when we install our Fentrum tape, we want a clean perimeter. So what I'm saying is I could use these. Here we got this tongue and groove. It's going to sit into this groove here. And when I do that, they can run long. It's not going to hurt nothing for the most part, right? But when I go and put this other one in down here, I want it to line up perfectly. So when I tape my Fentrum around the corner, it's not sticking out like so, which would still fit inside of our rough window opening, but that's pretty extreme. I'm just trying to give you an exact understanding of what we're cutting them down to. We're cutting them so that they're a perfect right angle, 90 degrees around all four corners for our taping purposes. 70 9/16, Craig? Yeah, I think so. You wanna know what's crazy? This is a metal Demo Demon Diablo blade. And look at how good of a job it does, even on this painted wood. And so I just went ahead and took the saw and just made a little kerf out of this. So now this should go right here like so. Now you can kind of start to see how this comes together. So we'll put one in, we'll glue it, we'll fasten it, and then we'll just kind of work our way around. But now that I know that's gonna work, I'll real quickly go ahead and get this guy cut. Just gonna line it up where it's gonna go. And I'm just gonna mark where that little metal mullion is, and then we're gonna go ahead to the saw and we'll make a quick cut. Okay.
You have been stressed out a little bit.
Stressed.
Then lost a year of your life.
I mean, I've already got enough gray hair, dude.
I wasn't gonna point it out.
You didn't have to, I just did. These instructions say to use 1¼ nails, so we've got 1¼ nails in this pass load. They're just your regular finished nails, so you can use screws, but it would be very hard to screw from here all the way through. Or my thought was, I didn't have, otherwise I would have loved to use screws, some 1¼ trim screws right back here. That would have been nice too, because I love using screws. So by cutting these to the exact dimension, this is what I wanted. I wanted a perfectly flush edge. So my tape, as you guys will see very shortly, will wrap right around that corner. And I don't know that you need glue. I just figured, why wouldn't we? We're putting wood together. We want it to stay nice and tight. You know, if you're not learning, you're dying, Greg. What is the best mistake to learn?
The best mistake to learn?
Yes. What is the best mistake to learn from?
A fixable mistake?
Well, I mean, that's not a bad idea, but no. The best mistake to learn is somebody else's.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying there. That makes sense now.
I always tell my kids when their friends do something stupid and they tell me about it or something, I'm like, well, you know, you should be learning from that. Because their mistake, they get to live with it, but you can learn from it. So learn from my mistakes, you know? I watch you and I learn from all your mistakes. So now we have the jam extension installed. It's glued, it's nailed. Now you can see we got this nice window depth there. That'll definitely help in, I think, later on down in trim stages. So this is the Sega Fentrum, and you can see I'm setting this little fold here. So we got this fold it's going to open up, and I'll show you here when I get to the corner and get it placed. Okay, so see this? It'll fold out, and what we like about this is it allows us to get a good seal here to the window on the inside. This is also a permeable Fentrum, so you want to make sure that if you're using Fentrum, the white is on the inside, the gray is on the outside, and that has to do with permeability. IS-20. But now this will allow us to tape into the jam, and it will seal off the cavity inside the window opening, which we can add insulation to. Some people don't add anything, they just keep creating an airtight airspace. But the important thing for us is that you'll notice on these corners that I'm kind of bending. That is because we have a rough opening that is 7/8 of an inch bigger than the actual window right here. So the frame is about another 1/2 inch bigger than this opening of our jam extension, and then we've got like a 1/2 inch opening around the window. And by doing this little tail on the corners, it'll allow our tape to make its way all the way out to the door or the window. It'll all make sense. I will definitely show you guys, but that will be at a later time because we will not connect this Fentrum to the window frames probably for just a little bit. Are people curious, Greg, why wouldn't you just tape it right to here? Maybe, and that is because this is where our trims are gonna go. So we don't want tape right here.
You don't want that, yeah.
So I'm just kind of measuring, but also trying to guesstimate this distance based on the math so that this has plenty of tape here. So, all right, we just ran out of tape on this roll, so we're just gonna join it, and all we're gonna do is just overlap it a couple inches, and we just wanna make sure we pull this backing off first, otherwise it's gonna be stuck there for a long time, and you're not gonna be able to do what you need to do later on. So we'll just overlap it, put that back, and then we go on our way. Nothing crazy. Okay. And then we just want to go ahead and squeegee this on. Make sure it's pressed in and isn't going to come off, because this is our air seal. Because we're using the Fentrum, we've learned this lesson. We can't caulk the wall. We need to caulk the window so that we don't put our hands in it and it doesn't get all caught on this tape as it's going in. So I'm just going to run a bead of Lexel sealant here along the outside. Okay, so now that we've got the caulk on, Greg, you ready to lift it? Mm-hmm. 1, 2, 3. We're gonna set it, try to set it off the nail fin. You good?
Okay, roll her in, watch the tape.
Make sure our tape is out of the way.
Yep.
There we go. We'll worry about that later.
Probably need to slide my way just a little bit.
Oh yeah. So Greg is gonna go inside and he's gonna check our dimension to make sure that our
Take
sides...
it away.
Which way?
Take it away. A little more.
Okay, so he's making sure that we're a 1/2 inch on both sides. And then now what we need to do is we need to check for square. Okay, we are 85 7/8. And here we're 85, and I would say just a hair over 7/8. So it doesn't always mean that that's not okay. The big thing is with these casements, we know our bottom is level, this side is level, plumb. And then what we want to do is take a look at our reveals. So we're going to look around these outsides. We're going to make sure that they don't look like we've got any weird humps. Reveals are looking pretty good. So what I'm going to do now is put a nail up here at the top. I don't want to over nail it, because if we have to move something, I want to have as few of nails to have to pull out. Okay, we're just going to go ahead and set these nails. Okay, go ahead and open and close it. How does it feel?
Smooth. I don't like that.
I don't like this.
Coldness.
Oh man, look at this. It came out.
Seal?
Yep, came out of the track. I'm going to have to get a new seal here. See that? It might correct itself, but I'll have to probably put a new seal on here. I'm more worried about did it close and open.
Yeah, that closed pretty good.
Yeah, because I just fixed that. Go ahead and close it. Lock it. The important thing is to make sure that it opens and closes good, and then you want to lock it for a while. Let kind of the material acclimate to itself. Okay, that one's all good, to be honest.
That closed pretty good.
I don't know that I'll ever really open these. I mean, I've got screens for these. I'm not a big window open guy. I want the opportunity to open them, but typically in Northern Illinois, it does always seem like we get a couple days where the weather is nice enough to open your window. Otherwise, we get like extreme humidity, or it just gets cold out. So we get like a couple days in the fall, a couple days in the spring, where you open your windows and air things out. So
typically on those days though, farmers are going at it.
yeah, so the dirt's flying and you don't want dust. So yeah, I don't always open my windows. All right, let's get this all nailed off now. And we got these little holes right here because this is a vinyl, one-piece vinyl jam. And these holes are here. This is where we're supposed to nail it. And you want to hit every nail hole.
You're not gonna like that. It's gonna be awful.
Don't say that, man.
Yeah, it's game over.
Should I just pass this on to you and just make a new one, maybe? Make
Yeah,
a new one?
yeah.
Because I'm not gonna like this. I'm not looking back. I'm not going back yet and looking.
I'm gonna turn this into a house.
Well, they won't let you.
They won't know.
Oh, that's a good point. How would they know? It's not like I'd ever post about it on the internet.
Nope.
So now that we've got the window set, you guys notice we did not caulk the bottom. That's just to give a potential condensation or moisture inside the window cavity a place to drip out. That window cavity in the rough opening will not be air sealed, hence why we are so reliant on our Fentrum IS-20 that we put on the window box. That is our air seal from the outside. I mean, we will have spray foam, which is a closed cell, and it will be better than nothing, but the Fentrum on the inside is kind of the ultimate air seal. Anybody that tells you a building is supposed to breathe.
You mean an exorcist, right?
Yes, yes, yes. You should control all the air that comes in and out of your building through mechanical means and proper detailing. It shouldn't just naturally have air flowing through it. That's why nobody likes to remodel an old home, because there was no air control and the walls are filled with mold and dust, bugs and everything else because there's no air sealing.
Lions and tigers and bears.
Yeah. Okay, so there we go. Because these windows have an integrated nailing fin, it makes this so easy because we don't have to worry about any gaps anywhere in here that we need to seal. Putting the Fentrum right on our nail fin, we're good and protected. Okay, so that window's done on the outside. Let me show you on the inside what that IS-20 is gonna look like so you can kind of get a feel. First off, you can see we've got our gap. Greg left his little spacer in here, but this is what we will put our spray foam into. So this will get filled with some spray foam. I won't overfill it. I'll just fill it enough because it's a 6.5 inch opening. I'll put some good window, great stuff in there. Let it do its thing. I could stuff, fiberglass, rock wool, whatever, but I just like the foam because it fills in all the nooks and crannies. Also, when I do it on the bottom, it will create some form of a dam, so no moisture that does get into that cavity has its ability to come back. It will weep out the front that we left open. Then we've got this IS-20, the Fentrum. This is gonna get peeled and sticked, and it's kind of hard to show, but if you come over here, this will give you a good idea. When we pull this backing off, and our framing is gonna be right here, another 1.5 inches, well, it'll stick right here. So this will get stuck all the way around. And remember this down at the bottom, how we left that long? It's kind of hard right now because it's stiff with the backing, but that will go all the way down into the inside corner, keeping it nice and tight. If we don't have that little corner, it doesn't go all the way in there. So trust me, it'll all make sense when we get to it, but hopefully this gives you a good idea what we're after. This is gonna be our air seal on the inside. Now I already know what I'm gonna think. I already know what I'm gonna think. Oh, find it. Yeah. My impression of what it was going to be was 2 windows that looked like that. That middle thicker section, I didn't think was gonna be there.
Up top.
Bottom.
Bottom.
The middle horizontal. That, in my mind, was a thin bar to match. I mean, they're all the same. So this is how they're supposed to be. And I guarantee you, it doesn't bother me at all. Dude, when we get our trims around these suckers, we get our siding up and our stone, oh, you'll have so much good to look at that you'll be never looking at that. The only problem with these staples is I don't want them ending up in the driveway here,
They'll end up in either yours or my tire.
Make new tires every day. Honestly, this PAS load works like perfectly. We do not have a whole lot of room for these jam extensions to be nailed. We've just got this little groove right here that's kind of carved out, and this gun fits right in there at just the perfect angle. I think there's a little Italian in me. You've had a little Italian in you. I am mainly French, German mainly, but my mother had French and German. And I think there's a little bit of a Viking also.
Ah, get out of here. I did a leg workout yesterday. Probably the last time was with me, yeah?
I don't know. I'm glad you're on my team, because I would have not remembered to check this until we went and put it in. Good thing we got the grab hose. Uh-oh, okay.
A little more. Okay, come back my way now. Yeah.
That's all good. Now the reason I went with casements over double hungs is because when we did the last blower door test on both of our houses, some of the weakest points, well, I would venture to say like the only weak points we found were around the double hung windows and the sliding door. So I didn't want to do a sliding window and I didn't want to do a double hung. And we all know that casements and awnings are the best window other than the fixed windows that I did up high. So I didn't waste time doing any awnings or casements up high because I'm never going to go up and open those. So that'll be my best energy performance option. And then I went with the casements and awnings. So there's casements here, and I actually have a couple awnings up in the second story mezzanine. I will, however, have some double hungs, and we'll talk about those because they do have a special performance package that increases the R value, the U value of the window substantially. And we'll talk about that later because they're not in yet, so we can't install them. But if somebody's asking, why is Kyle doing all these casements, not just double hungs or sliders? Because I wanted the most performance possible. Look at this building. How much square footage do these windows make up? I think it's even more important to spend the time and details on the bulk of the building. Get good windows. Like the 400s are good windows, but they're not top of the line. This is like affordable quality that I would put in anybody's house.
Is that what it's like to be an astronaut?
Do you think I'm doing a decent job or no? Not measuring anymore?
So just make sure you think you're.
Oh yeah, buddy.
Intrusive thoughts.
Happy ever